Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Agent Psycho. I'm bringing you guys a quick commentary in regards to the topic of criticism. Now, to set up the backstory for this, because usually my commentaries have some sort of, background story or context to it that I like to relate the topic back to, so you guys know what I'm talking about, or better understand my topic. Earlier today, if you guys don't know, I am a fanfiction writer. If you guys want to see my profile, the link should be down in the description below, because that's what I've been doing recently, putting my links like Twitter, fanfiction, whatever, my live stream included, into the descriptions of all my videos, so that you guys know that hey, I'm doing this, doing that, whatever. Anyways, like I said, I am a fanfiction writer. I'm an avid writer. I've been writing for over 2, maybe going on 3 years now, and I find it really, really fun. And what I do is I write and I post to a website called fanfiction.net. That's basically, I'm guessing it's the most popular internet fanfiction website where you can actually publish your own stories and have communities look at them and read them and critique them, whatever. So, just the other day, I was going through my fanfiction profile again, and then I was reading back on the reviews that some of my stories got, and one of my stories, the very first review that I got, I remember clearly because that was the very first one that story ever got, and that review had it struck me as, I don't know, I don't want to say it was like terrible. I didn't want to say it was like constructive criticism either, because I didn't really feel like it qualified for either. But it definitely stuck with me, and I definitely do remember it pretty well. So basically, the guy said that people don't really want to see a story that has like an original, like an OC, or that's an acronym for original character, that has, or that's very powerful, or very just very rampagey. And it's like his argument was that what's the point of creating an original character if the fanfiction that you're like whatever story or original story that you're making a fanfiction out of, suffers because of that overly powerful or overly dominant original character. And this isn't actually the first time that this has happened. The very first story that I published on fanfiction, which was called I just call it LOC for short. It's a fanfiction of Toho Project, if you guys know what that is, and basically the main protagonist is a guy who is insanely powerful, and it's kind of like a recurring theme with basically all of my fanfictions. I like making original characters and placing them into other stories that already exist. I think there is 1 or 2 stories. I'm not really too sure. Some of them I actually finished, and it's all said and done, but there is at least one that is a completely original one, and doesn't really depend on any other fanfiction that, or another story to that, lets me make a fanfiction out of that. But most of my stories involve some sort of synopsis like that, where you have an original character, or I make an original character that's very, very powerful, and it's very apparent from the get-go. Like, I establish it very quickly that my original character is not to be trifled with, and it's not to be fucked with. So, like I said, that kind of a review wasn't the first time I actually received something like that. Maybe it could have been from the same person, I don't know. But when I was writing LLC, when I published it the first time, I had received not like more than one complaint that, complained like, hey, your original character is way too strong. Like, what's like their argument was basically the same. Like, they kept mentioning something like this term Gary Stew. Forgive me if you guys know that term and I don't, because I'm not too familiar with the lingo of internet fan fiction writing or something like that. I just write it for fun and publish it to the internet so that people can read it for their enjoyment, not to go about and criticize other people for what they're doing wrong, in my opinion. Hashtag bang bang shots fired. But yeah, I don't really understand like what they mean by Gary Stew. I'm sure it means something that relates to what I'm doing, but you know what? I don't really care, because it's my story. I get to write what I want, and if I feel like putting a character in that's my own character, and they just so happen to be really really strong and kind of seem like they make the characters of like the story that I'm making fanfiction out of not so significant, then don't read it if you don't like to read it. It's nice to receive constructive criticism, but it's nothing entirely to receive criticism that says, like what you're writing is pointless because of how your story is set out to be. You know, okay, I guess I get it. I understand you have a problem with original characters that may seem to be a little bit stronger than what the original characters intend to be. Like in comparison, is that my problem? No, it's yours. So get over yourself and stop reading my stories, I guess, because I really don't need any. Really don't have any need for reading reviews like yours. Like I've gotten good reviews before, and if I take the time to read through them, I can definitely tell the good reviews from the bad. This one that I mentioned, I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's definitely pointless in my eyes. Like, yeah, thanks for your opinion. Thanks. Now that I know that you don't like my story, get the fuck out. So, anyways, that was a huge tangent that I just went off on. Typically, what I do. But that all goes back to this one moment. I go to this review like 1 month later. Like I received this review like on May 9th, and today I'm recording this commentary at like midnight on Sunday, June 1st. So it's basically been about 3 to 4 weeks, like almost a month now. So I read over that review again. I'm like, actually, I'm gonna go respond to this dude's. I'm gonna go to respond to this dude's review. Lo and behold, I can't respond to it. Because the way that fanfiction reviews, like the review system works, is that if someone has a registered account or they sign up for an account on fanfiction and they leave a review, typically speaking, you are able to, as the story writer or the guy who receives the review, you can actually respond to their review, and then you can have a conversation about whatever review that you've received from some guy or some girl, and that's kind of how that's intended to be. On the flip side, you can choose to leave an anonymous review, either as like just plain old anonymous, or I'm pretty sure you can make a fanfiction account and say like toggle it so that when you leave a review, you make it so that you don't let other people be able to respond to your review, if that makes any sense. So it turns out that this fellow by the name of Unimpressed Anon made it so that you can't, like, not even I, the story writer, can respond back to it, which I think is pretty bullshit. But yeah, like, why are you giving the people the power to respond, leave a review, and then not be able to take criticism for that as well? Like, on the flip side, that doesn't really make any sense. There should be an equal and opposite reaction to everything that there is, and the fact that this guy can leave a review on my story and not let me comment on his review is honestly bullshit, and I think that should be something to be changed, but that's not the topic of this commentary right now. So, that got me thinking, like, what makes you think that you want to set your profile or your account to the state where you don't let anyone else comment on your criticism? We're all familiar with, comment systems and people leaving criticism about, videos, pictures, stories, whatever, you name it. The internet is a big giant forum for whatever other people do on the internet or something like that. Whatever. People like to talk about things all the time. People like to criticize things all the time. That's fine and dandy. However, some of you guys probably already know this, but I really like criticizing people's criticism, if that makes any sense, like criticismception. So that's kind of what I'm into. Like, I really like to kind of pick apart and criticize and break down people's arguments, people's criticisms of what I do, because I feel like it helps me improve my argumentative skills, because I've taken debate and public speaking for 3 years in the past in high school and middle school. I know what it's like to be a debater. I know what it's like to analyze an argument and break it down and give a convincing argument. Persuasive writing. I did a lot of that too in high school. So that kind of a characteristic that I have is really evident in if you guys ever see me have this long comment train with other people in some of my commentaries. Maybe you guys know what I'm talking about. So the fact that I'm not able to respond back to this dude's review on my story that I feel that I feel like I can speak out on and try to convince him that, hey, your review was actually kind of stupid and you should probably reconsider how you leave reviews in the future. The fact that I'm not able to do that kind of honestly pisses me off, because it's like I mentioned before, the website is giving people the power to leave criticism and not take criticism back, which I feel is honestly unfair, especially to the story writers, or to just in general anyone who reads the review section, sees that guy's review and says, hey, that's not a fair review. Like, I want to say something to that guy, but they can't, because voila, they, like, well, lo and behold, they said it so that no one can respond back to him. Like, on the review section of my story, literally everyone else who's left a review, their name you can click on, because at least it's a hyperlink that leads to their profile. This dude's name doesn't even have a hyperlink, so there's no way you can actually contact him to reply back to him. Like, I'm guessing all he ever does is just reads people's stories. If he doesn't like it, he leaves reviews saying, oh, your story is pointless because your original character, your OC, is too strong, and you're doing things that I don't like seeing you do, because I don't think that's how fanfictions are meant to be written. So, all things considered, my topic is that, or what I want to, or the message that I want to get across here to you guys is, learn to take some goddamn criticism for yourselves. This may sound very hypocritical coming from someone like me. Obviously, I give off the notion that I'm very arrogant and I know everything that there is to know about whatever I'm arguing about to other people. That's partly true, because honestly, I don't consider people over the internet to be very intelligent. Obviously, there are very intelligent people over the internet, and not all of you are downright stupid, but sometimes there's those trolls that have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, and more often than not, I meet those kinds of people rather than the intelligent ones who know how to conduct themselves in a argumentative fashion, like a proper one that you probably see in like debate or something, and not just throw random insults at each other and call that an argument and say you won the argument. That's bullshit. You didn't. But that's what I just wanted to get across. Learn to take some criticism for yourself. And the 3 years that, like, up this July, next month, is going to be the 3rd year anniversary of me starting my YouTube channel. And the past 3 years, the biggest lesson that I've learned, and I'm still learning to this day, is to learn how to take criticism, no matter what kind of it is. It can be the most unfair, biased criticism that you could ever take. Because people are just downright stupid and ignorant over the internet. We all know there's internet trolls who like to be keyboard warriors and sit behind their computer screens yelling at people over the internet. We all know those kinds of people. So the fact that me as a YouTuber, I subject myself to the constant criticism of thousands of people online. I have banned so many people because it's clear to me, it's obvious to me that they're literally trying to do nothing else but troll, like flame me for no reason at all. They just want to get under my skin and piss me off. I don't have time for that anymore. At first, when I first started my YouTube channel, I was like, here's what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm not gonna ban anyone because it's just words. It's just words. What they say won't affect me. Oh, how very wrong I was. I was very, very wrong. And honestly, I'm a sensitive guy. I pay attention to anything and everything that I see that is written about me. And if I can see that you are not being supportive of me, then I'll take note of that. And if I can see that your criticism is not relevant to the videos that I make or the content I produce, or if I just feel like your criticism is just downright stupid and ignorant and doesn't deserve my time, I have no problem banning you because of the fact on the grounds that you're a complete asshole and idiot. So does that mean that I don't take criticism? No, I do take criticism. If it's intelligent, if it's worthy of my attention, if I know that their intention is to try to improve my skills as either a video maker or a story writer, then that's perfectly fine. I will be attentive to that, and I've gotten, on the context of fanfiction, I've gotten a lot of constructive criticism on some of my stories that I'm actually incorporating into my story because of the fact that they pointed it out that I otherwise probably would not have seen for myself. Because sometimes your own mistakes, someone else has to point them out to you, because there's literally no way for you to see them. Only someone else or a third party looking at you and what you've done can point out something that could potentially be wrong. And that kind of criticism I highly appreciate because at the end of the day it helps me improve the kind of person I am, and I like that. I like being able to improve and being able to deliver a better product for people who appreciate what I have to provide for them. So for people like Unimpressed Anon, who leaves reviews and doesn't let people review back or review their reviews, reviewception, I'll say this to you guys. I feel bad for you. First of all, I feel bad for you that you are in an insecure state of mind, that you feel like you can only have one-way discussions and feel like you have the power to say anything without having or without suffering any sort of consequence in return. That's not how life works, just saying. That's not how life works. Maybe your life is full of shit, maybe your life is also full of bullshit, and you just feel like you want to have an outlet of control in your life. Sorry, but sucks to suck. Maybe this is the only type of control that you might have so that you don't have to suffer even more criticism than you already get. Suck it up, If you really don't want to take any more criticism, or if you're really afraid of taking criticism, dude, just man up and take it, I've been doing YouTube for 3 years now. A lot of people don't like me. A lot of people. Because of the commentaries that I do, because of the videos that I make, and just because of the kind of person that I pass off as. I've gained a lot of supporters, but I've also made a lot of enemies. And you know what? The criticism is fine. I've learned to accept the fact that criticism is always going to be a part of whatever you do on the internet. No matter what you do, there's always going to be, see, my mentality is that whatever you do on the internet, no matter how many people support you in what you do, there's always going to be that one asshole out there somewhere in the world who, for whatever illogical reason, or maybe he does have a good reason, for whatever reason, he doesn't like you, and he makes it his life goal to completely shit on whatever you do. You see this in all YouTube videos. Like, for example, I'll use the example of the Rad Brad. He's a Let's Player, He's called the Let's Play, or the King of the Walkthroughs, King of Walkthroughs on YouTube. I think a couple gaming magazines called him that. And, on every video he does, vastly, the dislike bar, vast majority of it is going to be likes. It's inevitable. But there's always those couple dozen amounts of dislikes that are there for no reason at all. He's a fantastic video maker. He does his job well as a Let's Player, and a lot of people appreciate his efforts. That's why he has over fucking 2.5 million subscribers right now, and growing, and it doesn't look like he's going to stop anytime soon. But there's always those couple dozen people who always leave those dislikes for no fucking reason. Doesn't really make sense. Like, what is there to dislike about this video? If you can find one, I will completely shit all over your criticism of that video, saying that your criticism is complete garbage, and my criticism of your criticism is way better than your criticism. I can do that with a lot of confidence, in fact. And those kinds of people are the kinds of people that really need to listen to this commentary, because you guys need to learn how to take some criticism. People like Unimpressed Anon. Don't think that just because you have the power to leave, feedback on something and never have to worry about it again, like just a one-shot gig, You know, one trick pony, whatever the term for it is. It's not fair. And I don't say that in like a, oh, it's not fair cryberry tone. No, I'm saying it's not fair not only to me but to anyone else you do this to. You know, that's not how people like to operate. You know, people, typically speaking, human beings like to play or like to live on a kind of a fair, you know, balance. That's kind of how people kind of like to live. You know, I get something in return, or I get something, you get something, or you give me something, I give you something. So it's simple as that. This applies the same to here as well. You leave criticism on my story, I should have the right to leave criticism on your criticism, and we can have a nice and lively discussion on who's better, or on whose criticisms is better. The fact that I can't do that pisses me the fuck off, and I lose respect for people like Unimpressed and on, and because of that. By the way, your name pisses me off too. So that's the commentary. Guys, I don't want to sit here and say say these kinds of things like I'm some sort of old sage that's lived through eons and gained tons of wisdom along the way. I don't want to give off that kind of image, but I do want to say that if there was if there was any sort of advice that I could give, like, this is what I have to give, and one of them is being able to take criticism. You're always going to run into opposition, no matter who you are, no matter how known or unknown you are. Like, it's not only famous people who take criticism. Any average Joe Schmo off the street will take flack from his friends and family for the decisions that he makes in his life. It doesn't mean that you should completely ignore them, like sometimes I tend to do, which is a mistake, obviously. But at the same time, it's not something that, you know, it's not something that you can just completely let yourself get taken over by. Like, you need to learn how to filter criticism and understand that, you know, criticism is a vital part of life, no matter who you are and no matter what kind of criticism that you're taking. And the faster you realize this, the easier your life is going to be. That's all I have to say. So, thank you guys very much for watching. I'm ending this commentary here, and I hope you guys have learned a lot from this commentary. I hope you guys found this commentary valuable. Hopefully, I'm just saying. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully I'll be back with another commentary very time soon, or pretty soon. So yeah, I'll stop talking now because clearly I am stumbling over my words, and when that happens, that's probably not a good thing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.